Okay, this is Jimmy Jive, and you're listening to Motor City Rock Talk. Today, my guest is part of a legendary group from the Detroit area, late 70s into the 80s, the Cadillac Kidz. I've got the one and only singer, Spazz. Hey, Spazz, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, Jimmy.
So, tell me a little bit about Cadillac Kidz. I remember seeing you guys back in the days, in the 80s and all. I believe at like Center Stage or Silverbird, those places and all that.
We played everywhere. You know, the interesting thing was we were a punk rock band.
Yeah.
All original, but we crossed over. We were playing the Center Stage, Silverbird, Harpo's, all of the top 40 club. But we were playing Tracks, Bookies, Blondies. We were playing all the underground clubs too. So we really kind of had that crossover. And there was only a couple bands that were able to do that. Romantics being one of them, which we did a lot of dates with them.
Right. I just did an interview a week or so ago with Mike, so that's going to be coming up
Mike
too.
Skill.
Yeah. So you guys are on the newest Motor City Rocks album, 2023. Your song.
The Wheels.
Yeah.
Motor City Rocks, Wheels too.
Yeah. How did that come about? How did they decide this year to do one with the older bands?
Well, here's what we've done a couple of Wheels albums, 2 songs out there.
Yep, I've got them both.
Shoulder to Shoulder, and then we have Tears. So we've been on the Wheels album, and Doug said, hey, we'd like to. The original deal was they wanted to remaster Tears. Okay. And we said, that's a great idea. And, you know, we're aboard that. However, what about some newer stuff for Cadillac Kidz? Something new. And we sent them our song, Just Want to Talk to You, and they loved it, and they put that on, but they wanted to originally do remaster Tears. And they've done a lot of remastering. They're doing the remaster on the Rhythm Core and Bittersweet Alley.
Right, I noticed that, and they did the same thing with Halloween. Kind of thought that was the idea, kind of like
well, it kind of was in a way, but the thing of it was we had done that show. We recorded that with Ben Gross back in the day. Those tapes, who knows where they're at to even remaster them. A lot of these bands had the tapes, like Brian from Halloween, I'm sure had them.
Oh, yeah.
Rhythm Core had them because they came right from the record company. And Bittersweet Alley, Gary owns all the masters. So, but in our case, we said, look, we have an opportunity. We were actually going to re-record Tears. We were trying to get that done, but there just wasn't time because, you know, the guy that's producing the album, Jason Hartless, is Ted's drummer, and they were touring. There was just no time, you know, but a great opportunity nonetheless. We're on the record with Mark Farner and Ted Nugent.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Tino G, the look, Halloween, man, how could we? That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I know you guys are going to be doing this record. It's not a record release because obviously the album's already out. It came out last month. But a record release type party this Friday night.
Yeah, this Friday we're going to be at the Cadieux Cafe. And I can't even be more thrilled than to come back to Detroit, you know, because I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah, I knew that. What happened there, man? Why'd you leave town?
That's a long story.
Couldn't stand the weather?
That's a long story. No, it wasn't the weather. I'll just put it in a nutshell. The band broke up, and I was working for a company that was transferring to Florida. And originally I wasn't going to go. And then when that happened, it just kind of, I still don't even know why we broke up. That's another $1 million question.
Right.
But nonetheless, we're still together and have been together since day one. I moved to Florida. Maybe if I didn't move in, we'd still be doing stuff, but who knows that scenario.
Right, of course.
But the good news is I've already been back several times to do Cadillac Kidz shows, so.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's the most important thing,
Yeah, I've seen some videos.
Hey, are you going to come, James, to the show?
I'm planning on it because I'm wondering, and I didn't know if you had the inside scoop because they've got Derek St. Holmes listed as being on the bill,
Derek
too.
St. Holmes he's on the show because he's on, Ted Nugent does a song on the record.
Right, Queen of the Forest, so I was wondering if...
And Derek's singing on it.
Right, I know
that's
that.
Derek's, so that's why Derek's going to be there, but he's headlining the whole thing. Me and him are headlining.
Yeah,
or not me and him, Cadillac Kidz.
Any chance Ted might sneak in there, you think? Or is that just a long shot?
Hey, you know, I wish I had that answer. That would be great to see Uncle Ted. Hey, you never know with Ted. Right. You never know.
Because I saw his little clip there for the thing, too, and he looked like he was really into it. I remember going to that show, Queen of the Forest, that, you know, back in the day when he did those. You know,
that Cobo Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cobo Hall. Every year he had one of those on New Year's Eve and all that. And I remembered that. I thought that was really, really killer. So anyway,
Listen, you can't not forget that. If you're a Detroiter, you had to remember Ted.
Oh, of course.
Doing that, because that was a staple show, like you said, James.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah, hey, I'm thrilled to be on that record with my boys, Cadillac Kidz, but lineup is freaking great. Got to be a great record. I think this is going to be a real good turnout, and I think if you're going to get tickets, you better get them to get there.
It's definitely going to be a big night. That Mark Barner wasn't going to be there. That would have been really cool too.
We don't know. Yeah. We don't know. You know, Rhythm Corps is playing the night before, the night after.
The night after at St. Andrews.
You never know. You never know. They might show up.
That would be really killer.
I know. We're going to go see them at St. Andrews Hall Saturday.
So tell me a little bit about the Cadillac Kidz. I know you guys more or less came out of the late 70s into the 80s, and like you said, you were kind of a punk type band that kind of wielded into more of an alternative type thing with the new wave thing and all.
Right.
What caused you to change? Was it just because of the atmosphere?
Well, here's what happened, basically, in a nutshell. I was at the Second Chance, and I was watching the Motor City Bad Boys, and I can't remember who the other, I want to say Patti Smith, maybe, whoever it was, but the Motor City Bad Boys were there, and I met Cameron Wesley, who was their manager, who ended up saying, I'm forming a new band. You'd be perfect as the lead singer. And I had never been in an original band, really. I mean, I played some songs, cover band. I was playing in another band. Long story short, we ended up writing some songs, and we put a band together, and Cameron had already had some of the songs written. And then I helped him co-write some stuff. And then we met Dan. Dan and Cameron had gone to school together, writing. Me and Dan and Chris Cameron started writing. We didn't have a bass player. So Chris Badney, I wanted to be in a band with him like you don't even know. But he was a guitar player. So I went to him, I says, hey, listen, I got this new project, but we already got 2 guitar players. He goes, okay, well, what do you want from me? I go, would you play bass? He goes, I'm not a bass player. I said, well, would you? So he came and saw the band, saw what we were doing, and he decided that he would do that. Basically what happened. And then we got a drummer, and the next is history.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys played everywhere back in the day. Yeah.
We really didn't want to be like, oh, we're just playing bookies. We ended up getting signed with DMA, you know, who was booking Aerosmith and Ted Nugent, Sammy Hagar, a lot of big bands. And they were booking Romantics. But when I was in a cover band, I knew a couple of the agents, and they were kind of following us because I was in a cover band for a few years before I got into this band. So DMA took an interest in us, but we were already doing stuff with the Romantics. Mm-hmm. And then when the Romantics signed with DMA, we signed. And then the next thing, you know, we did all kinds of stuff. Right. DMA had us on we played all the circuit that the club bands played. You know, we already had a platform for playing at Bookies and Tracks, the Squeeze, Red Carpet, the Crest Lounge, all of the punk rock bands playing there too. So it was crazy, man. It was just crazy for us. I mean, we opened for Jay Giles, and then we opened for the Ramones.
I know you opened for
Iggy. Yeah. We opened for Black Sabbath. We opened for Bon Jovi. We opened for Jay Giles. We were supposed to be the opening act for the U2.
Really?
First show they ever did in America. Yeah, we're with DMA. They got us that gig.
That was the thing. It was funny you mentioned Black Sabbath. That was for the Mob Rules tour at Pine Knob.
No, that was Evil. No, Evil Live with Dio.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It was supporting the Mob Rules album.
That was insane.
And I heard you guys didn't quite go over quite that well with the metal crowd. How did that work out for you?
Well, no, that actually didn't happen. What happened was we were friends with Pine Knob, okay? Because we played there several times, and they loved us. And I was talking to them, and they said, hey, Johnny Van Zant just got kicked off the Black Sabbath tour, and Black Sabbath wants an opening act. And I said, well, we'll do it. And they go, Cadillac Kidz, Black Sabbath? They just kind of looked at me and they were like, okay. And what we decided to do was we didn't realize that Black Sabbath's audience is all 14-year-old boys.
That's right, yeah.
And Cadillac Kidz was this new pop, punk rock, okay? So when we went up there, we said, we're going to play everything. Actually, Chris said, listen, for us to make this work, we'll just take everything down half a step, half a key. Okay. And I opened up, and the other thing was the opening act, the opening song we did, I did like a 2-minute scream. Before we even played a note, I just started screaming, and I jumped off the stage, and they went nuts over us. And even Black Sabbath said to us, "You're not going to get anything." They're all, English. The monitor guy goes, "You're not going to get anything. They're not going to like it.
Yeah.
They don't like any of the opening acts." So they're already trying to scare us. They threw a cooler at John. They were throwing bottles and everything at Johnny Van Zandt. He was opening for him.
Yeah, no wonder he didn't want to do
tour.
it.
They kicked him off the tour. They go, "Listen, this ain't working." And they were laughing at us, saying, "Oh, listen, they're going to hate you. Nobody likes the opening act." And the crew afterwards said, "We can't believe how great you guys did." I said, "We played to the audience, What, I'm a firm believer. I don't care who it is. If you're entertaining, it doesn't matter.
True.
Because
a few times I've seen Sabbath, Quiet Riot open up from, and Danzig.
I can see Danzig opening for him.
Yeah. The strangest one I ever saw, and it worked out kind of like what you're saying, was when I saw the Babies open up for Alice Cooper. Now that was a strange competition.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
How about Hendrix opening for the Monkees?
Yeah, that's probably
How about that one and getting booed off the stage?
Yeah, that was the strangest one probably in history, I imagine.
Hey, listen, I got one for you. Jerry and Glenn Danzig came to our town and played with us. We played with the Misfits and became friends with them and everything. And it was interesting because, they just had this one record out. Glenn Danzig he's like a cross between Al Pacino and Jerry Lewis. Hilarious. Yeah. He's a really cool guy. And then Jerry, one of the original guys now, Glenn comes back and forth, but Jerry's actually kept the band going, the bass player. And we became friends, but it was their first show in Detroit. Wow. And we played with them, and then we played with the Ramones. Then we played with Bon Jovi, and we played with Alice Cooper.
You played with Cooper?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and Billy Squire. And then we go on to play with, oh, God. It was so weird. People go, you guys are like, like a lot of the opening acts play. Oh, Jethro Tull, bro. How about that one? We opened for Jethro Tull.
Well, let me ask you this. How did you get your nickname? How did you get the nickname Spazz?
That's a good question. I was singing in a cover band. We were doing a show, and we were playing this big outdoor thing, some city thing. I don't remember what it was. But, the newspaper was out there, and I ended up climbing on top of the PA system. Because I was known for that. You know that already, Jay. I went in the audience. I was crazy. I climbed on the PA system, and the guy was writing, because I don't know who this band was or who the singer was. But what a spaz he was. Climbing everywhere. We didn't know where he was going to be next. In the audience, behind the stage, come behind, he was so theatrical. We spat. And he goes, he was a spaz. So the band I was singing in said, "Hey, Spazz." They started calling me Spazz. Spazz this, Spazz that. So when I had the opportunity, when I was introduced Cameron to do this punk rock band, I said, "What is that the perfect punk rock singer name?" You got Iggy, and then what was the guy's name from the Dead Boys? Stiv.
Yeah.
You got Stiv and all these crazy names, right?
Right.
So I go, "I'm Spazz," because the guy I was living with and my sound man would call me Spazz all the time, and I never got rid of it.
No,
and it's been still with me to this day. A lot of people are like, "What's your real name?" I go, "That's my real name, Spazz." Yeah, what do you think it's going to be? Of course I have a real.
You guys didn't put out much as far as recordings. I think you had a 45 and maybe an EP. Was there much more than that?
Oh my God! Listen, we're on so many compilation albums. It's ridiculous. Establishment Bash is on this punk rock band overseas in Europe. We just did Atomic Phaser on the Robert St. Mary record that was done at where Jack White plays.
Yeah.
I can't Jack White from the White Stripes.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of that.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And we were on all these Wheels albums. We were on 2 Wheels albums. We had our own record, and now we're on a 3rd Wheels album. I said, if you put all our stuff together, we have an album.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody should do that and actually put together some kind of compilation that is actually a total thing. Because I remember Tear, that song was really killer. Detroit a Go Go, and some of the other ones you covered.
Detroit's a Go Go's on the Motor City Muscle. We're on all these albums. We just don't have a album. Goals for next year.
Is it? Okay.
James, we want to do an album. We're hoping that you would help us promote it and produce it. It's one of our goals. We talked about that. We want to do an album.
Yeah, do it, man.
We're talking to a couple of people. We'll see what happens.
The retro thing is back, man. People are digging some of the older bands. That was part of the reason why I do this show. Because my band was out and about in the late 80s. playing and all that. But we used to go see guys like, you know, your band and Muggsy and Bittersweet Alley and Toby Red and all those bands back then.
But you would never see Muggsy or Bittersweet Alley at bookies.
No, of course not. No,
You're the national play, or you'd see them at center stage.
Yeah, center stage.
You wouldn't see them at track. Played the Ritz. I played New York. Every top 40 club, I was in it. Side Street. And we did all original, man.
Yeah.
Because we had a draw. People were coming for miles to see Cadillac.
Oh, I know, man. Everybody knew who you were. There was no doubt about that.
You know, that was our little niche, was we could play those clubs and a lot of the other bands couldn't. And not because we were better or anything like that, just because of the nature of what they were doing. You know, nobody wanted to hear Styx and Queen and
Sure.
you know, the whole idea was to get away from that. We'd play these other clubs with the Romantics, you know, forget about it. We crossed over. Well, the new wave bands started playing.
And you got people to dance to your music and stuff and rock.
Oh my
out to
gosh,
everything.
Absolutely. We packed the dance floor. They loved us.
Yeah.
The girls loved us.
And isn't that the key? Bring the girls in, the guys will follow, then the bar will make money on drinks and everybody's happy.
Dude, hey, James, you just nailed it. Girls to come out, that's where the guys are going to go to buy the drinks.
Yeah.
Why do you think they have ladies' night? Ladies drink free.
Ladies drink free.
We're going to give you guys a break. You don't have to buy any drinks for an hour.
Yeah, and back when it was like 25-cent pitcher nights of beer and all that stuff. Of course, back when bands 4 or 5 nights a week, too, because there was a lot more bars.
But, dude, we did that. We West Side Street all week. The thing was, we didn't play cover songs. And if we did a cover, it was something, James, that we did When You Were Mine. And we did Love's Gone Bad. And we did I Feel Good by James Brown. We did Painted Black by the Stones. We did it like the Cadillac Kidz. Well, here's what we used to say. And I said this all the time. You'd see a cover band, and they were really good. Don't get me wrong. Some of these guys are still my friends to this day. Then they'd play an original song, and it sounded like a cover. When you played your original song, it sounds like a cover. You're one of your cover songs. That's how that system worked. We flipped the system, played a roll original, and then any cover we did it like us. We made it our own.
Yeah, of course.
So it sounded like us.
Yeah.
So it was the same, and literally, it was the same actual formula. We just flipped it, and it worked.
Yeah.
And the reason I know it works, I've used it 4 or 5 times in other bands. It does work. People don't want to hear cover songs. They want to hear original music. That's just what they want. There's a need for cover music.
Yeah, if they want to hear covers, tell them to get a DJ or put on the jukebox.
Well, yeah, go listen to the real thing. Well, you know, it's interesting. I say that, but I'm in a tribute to a Led Zeppelin tribute. I play Robert Plant.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a different thing, though.
Sure.
I never got to sing like that. But you got to remember, I started out singing Queen, Styx, you know, David Bowie, Aerosmith. I mean, we did all ZZ Top. I mean, I sang all that stuff.
Right.
You know, and I don't get to do that. And then now I'm in this tribute to Led Zeppelin. Still in the Cadillac Kidz. Still doing that. But, you know, the tribute to Led Zeppelin is a lot of fun because I grew up with Zeppelin.
Is that what you're doing down in Florida now, or?
That's what I'm doing in Florida. We played at Motor City Muscle Festival. We're called the Pure Zeppelin. But then I also had another band called the Cadillac Brat, and we were open. That's a great story. I moved to Florida. Everybody's saying, "Where's Spazz? What happened to Spazz?" Because, you know, at one point, everybody knew me in Detroit. I mean, we played everywhere, and I'm a very friendly guy anyway, so I had a lot of friends. But I just literally disappeared. I was kind of depressed that the band broke up. I wasn't really, you know what I mean? So somebody had called me and said, Hodel just put out, you know, Doug's been my friend for 40 years. Doug puts out a message saying, hey, has anybody talked to Spazz? What the heck is he doing? I'd love to talk to him. So I was at a rehearsal with the band, and I called Doug. And Doug goes, what are you doing, man? I go, I got another band in Florida. Oh, my God, tell us about it. I'm on the air. Okay, and he says, tell me about the band. And I said, well, you know, it's a straight-ahead rock band. He goes, is it like the Kidz? And I was making a joke. And James, we didn't even have a name yet. We hadn't even played a gig yet. Well, he goes, is it like the Kidz? And I go, well, and I wanted to make a joke. I said, no, more like Brats than Kids, Brats. So he goes, there you got it. Spazz's new band, Cadillac Brats. He goes, Spazz, how would you like to come up here and open for Cheap Trick at Hart Plaza? And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Have you played a show yet? James, I'm not kidding you. I knew I could do it. I'm like, okay. So can you imagine going to the band for the first show and saying, hey, we're going to Detroit to open for Cheap Trick.
That must have flipped them out.
And the Flame was just blowing up on MTV. So they were huge again. And they always were a great band anyway. But my point was, so that's what happened. I mean, Cadillac Brats went to Detroit, and that was kind of fun. Chris came with me, and we did a couple of Cadillac Kidz songs, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But that was our first show. And then we just kept Cadillac Brats. I didn't want to do Cadillac anything.
Right.
I had already done Cadillac Kid. Then I was stuck with it. So I said to the band, I go, we'll use Cadillac Brats. But what we'll do is we'll change the name. And everybody said, we love the name. So we kept it, and we actually did put a record out.
Any of the Cadillac Kidz songs on that, or just all new?
No, there's no Cadillac Kidz. We all our own songs.
Oh, okay.
We used a couple of songs in the beginning just to get the band going.
Sure.
Like we did Tears. We did Shoulder. I think that's about all we did. Yeah, we did that, and then we went on our own. We wrote our own song. We had a song called Not Detroit's a Go-Go. What is the song?
You wrote it, man.
I know, Down Dirty Detroit.
Okay.
Down Dirty Detroit. But so, it was interesting. That's that's pretty much what's going on. But the Cadillac Kidz have been playing shows since 1988. 86 I left, in 88 we did our first reunion at the Token. We've been playing the Token forever. When Ron Baltrus owned it, how cool was that? We played the Token and the Romantics show up. Every rock star in Detroit was at our show. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was a great show, and we sold it out. And we did not, and here's the thing, usually when you do a reunion, you do one night, right? I said to Rob Baltrus, we're gonna do 2 nights. He goes, Spazz, I don't even know if you're gonna fill up one night, because he's expecting to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because I said, look, we gotta have this money, and you gotta fly me in, and we're gonna need this, and blah, blah, blah. And Rob Baltrus says to me, 2 nights? Spazz, how are you gonna do this? I go, we're gonna have a different opening act each night. He goes, wow, that's genius. And we did. And you know what? It worked, and we sold it out 2 nights, and we made money. Each band guy got something. It's very cool. We've been around since '79, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew it was the late 70s into the early 80s. What about merchandise, man? Did you guys do much with merchandise back in the day, or do you have any of it now?
We didn't do a whole lot with merch. We just didn't. We had buttons.
Right.
But I've got, we do it now.
Right.
We got shirts that say Detroit's a Go-Go and Cadillac Kidz.
The record store Rock of Ages over in Garden City,
they're giving our buttons out when you buy the record.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really, really cool. That's really cool.
I know, Chris did that. He went over there and said, hey. And we wanted to do something. The thing about Cadillac Kidz, we've always tried to be ahead of stuff.
Right.
We didn't want to be with the trend. So we've always done really great marketing. And a lot of people were saying, oh, you got this because of that. No, we got that because we hustled. We worked it. It just didn't fall in our lap.
Right.
We hustled. And a lot of the times people don't understand that we did stuff to make that happen. I used to say to people, sometimes you have to create it. Do you know what I mean? You can talk about your podcast, James, but if you don't actually go and get everything, invest everything, and do everything and start marketing things, it's just going to be you sitting around a coffee shop going, one day I'm going to do this podcast called Motor City Rocks. But you're doing it now, bro. So that's what I'm saying. You're doing it. And, and that's how we work. We did promo. We drove around. We went to clubs and hung out and supported all the bands. And nobody does that like they did.
No, well, you also had to put up flyers everywhere. It was all about
everywhere. But you can't do that. Now, you know what it is now? We can't have that in the window. No. But now we just buy Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Pretty sad, huh?
It is sad because it's all about that and
I love the posters, seeing posters on the telephone pole.
Yeah, all over the place, and it wasn't cheap doing that back in the days, man. You had to go to Kinko's and make 1,000 copies and go to all these different clubs or wherever you're going to put them on cars and pray that people don't just throw them away or take your stuff, put theirs up,
James, now I've got a company that does it for me, okay? And I get it wholesale because I know how to play that game.
There you go.
Once you figure out the rules to everything it gets easier. It's fine. It's trying to figure it out, and you gotta get knocked down a few times. And I got knocked down a lot.
We all did.
Yeah, marketing and promotion is everything. And who does a great job is Podell. Podell is the master of it. shows up, shakes your hand. He's the guy, man. He should be the mayor of Detroit. You knew Doug when he was just coming on the radio, getting ready. With Mark McEwen and Sky Daniels and O'Leary, God rest his soul. Just can't believe John's gone, man. Steve Costan, we were all buddies with all the DJs. Bob Bauer, God bless his soul, Ann Carlini.
You guys get some airplay back in the day when they played you guys?
Listen, do you know who Paul Christie is when he took over ABX? He's the program director at ABX. And we had made a cover song, a Hot Stuff by Donna Summer, but we rocked it up.
Yeah, I've heard
it. It's excellent.
Cool. Yeah.
They played it on the beat. I get a call from Paul Christie. He goes, Spazz, can you get me a copy of that? He goes, I want to put that in regular rotation in Detroit.
Wow.
Detroit was a major market. Record companies were like, wow, Cadillac Kidz are in regular rotation on a cover song. So we had a little bit of a buzz going, but then we ended up, I'm not going to get into all of that, but obviously it didn't work out, but that's okay. We were in the front runner for a few companies.
How was it to cover that song as far as licensing? Did you guys have any issues with that, especially if it's in regular rotation?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even know if we did. I mean, we never put it on a record. So, I mean, the radio station could have gotten in trouble.
That's just what I said. I mean,
but you know what, James? I don't think ABX cared. They were WABX.
Yeah, not in those days, no.
Do you remember Mark Perino?
Yes.
Probably the coolest DJ ever.
Yeah.
Mark Perino hanging out with Jay Giles here at the Michigan Palace. I mean, he was so cool, man.
Yeah. Those were the days, Spazz. Those were the days.
And I was friends with Gail Perino. Gail got us a lot of shows, from Bamboo. And then she went into Son of Bamboo, and then it was Perino Guided. We loved Gail Perino. She loved the Cadillac Kidz. And that was the thing, because it wasn't like we weren't that band that thought we were better than everyone. We knew we weren't, but we knew one thing. We got people to come out to see us. We kept them, and they had fun, and we became their friends.
Yeah, and a lot of bands don't do that, man.
No, they don't.
And that's real important to connect with your fans, connect with them, because
well,
you know what?
Said, not for nothing though.
Right.
Well, nothing's between you and I. We're on a podcast.
Right.
I'm thinking, people are listening. Goes, Spazz, you know that we're listening to this, right?
Right.
It's not you and James talking like you think. No, here's what I believe. This is what I believe. This is just. Wait a minute, what is that disclaimer they use? All thoughts and things that are out of this program, we don't completely support our guests' viewpoints on things.
I can edit anything you want.
I know, no, you don't have to edit anything. No, what I'm saying is, I've been those places, and I've hung out, like I said, in Florida, so I know how this state works. I've been to New York. Detroit is the only one that supports everyone. I wish everybody was more like Detroit.
Yeah.
And we all would go to each other's shows and still do. But I could sit around and go, we're better than you. We can't go out. It was never like that. And the perfect example of that is Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, Kid Rock. They promote Detroit. Bob Seger, Detroit. Romantics, Detroit. Not the other bands don't think of it. I'm just saying, they actually come out and hang out. Marketing thing.
Yeah, it was a different time though, and nowadays, like I was saying earlier, some of these bands, there's some hot bands coming out of Detroit, but the club scene being as pretty much as bad as it is.
It's everywhere though, James. It's not just in Detroit, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
The record companies it's not like you're going to get a record deal. Go out and do it yourself. Now you got TikTok, you got Instagram, YouTube. It's ridiculous, man. And what's the other one? Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it's just going off the chain, man. And now you just sing in your house, and 10 million people love you, and then they're going, whoa, we should do a recording with you. You think maybe 10 million people just watched me sing a song and loved it? You think?
Yeah, because the home studio thing is like the big thing.
James, this reminds me, and I don't know how old you are. All right, so go back to the Bob Seger day.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent, Alice Cooper. Go back to that era. And they're older than us. They were doing what every other band did. Entertaining, trying to make a living, doing what they loved.
Yeah.
The difference was people were just saying, forget the majors, we'll put our own records out. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
All these independent labels everywhere. Yes. They wanted to get a record out. It was easy to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it would still cost money.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they just went out and did it themselves, and then the record company would see it. Oh wow, these guys! Look at perfect Nirvana.
Yeah.
Nirvana sold 100,000 CDs by themselves at show. And then the record company goes, what?
Yeah, we got to get in on this. We got to get in on this.
Well, yeah, the same thing. And then when the punk rock movement came, same thing. If you're not going to make a place for us, we'll make our own place.
Yeah, we'll create our own box. And,
exactly, and I think that's what's happening now. And I believe that music, and you know this, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
I see these kids with David Bowie haircuts playing this glam stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? That was in the 70s.
Yeah.
But they're young, 20 years old. They don't know.
Well, I think a lot of them do know, because like their uncles or their dads were part of that generation. They turned them onto the records.
Oh, sure.
So,
Greta Van Fleet.
yeah.
You know, are you influenced by Led Zeppelin? Yeah, not really. I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah,
well,
your daddy knew
your
him.
Parents,
to him,
but your parents played Zeppelin. They're
yes,
young.
Exactly.
They're my age. Their parents are like our age, bro.
Yes, I know.
Of course they played Led Zeppelin and Cream. Okay, so yeah, that's where your influences come from, bro. My influences come from Motown.
Yeah.
That's where my parents, so let's be real here.
Yeah, everybody has their influences, yeah, of course.
Yeah, influences come from everywhere, but I get it.
Now, how did you guys come up with the name, the Cadillac?
Cameron wanted a band that was going to be elite and, above everything. I think the way he explained it to me, the Cadillac was the premier car in Detroit.
Yeah, sure.
Period, end of story.
Yeah.
Elvis bought Cadillacs for everybody. Cadillac was the car. So he wanted to use Cadillac because that just stood for, you don't go better than that. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Status. That's the word we're looking for. And then he said, we're all kids at heart, rocking.
Yeah.
We're all kids. Cadillac Kidz. And then Dan Cadillac, he came up with the idea, let's make it a Z though, and make it a big Z. And so that's how Cadillac Kidz came. But Cameron actually came up with the name because of the status of the best car ever.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny because, we had gone to Cadillac to see if they would promote them. Really, I tried to get a sponsor. We're Cadillac Kidz, and they go, yeah, we know who you are.
Yeah,
And by the way, you can't use that logo anymore. Oh, yeah, well, don't worry about the logo. But I mean, anywhere you went, it was so funny. They always used to go, yeah, we remember you. So which one of you guys is Flash? I go, no, that's Flash Cadillac.
Yeah.
And the Continental Kids, we're the Cadillac Kids.
Right.
We're playing in Ohio with the Romantics. Some guy comes and says, are you Spazz? I go, yeah. He goes, where's Flash?
I thought you were talking about Flash Cahan at first.
Oh, I love Doug. I love Doug Cahan.
Yeah.
What a band.
Yeah.
What a band. I love Flash. I love Doug. He's in Nashville.
Yeah, everybody seems to be in Nashville or Florida.
Everybody went to Nashville. It's the new LA.
But I know a lot of guys that went down there and stuff are down there, been down there 30 years, and they told me that it's hard to do the original band down there because all the musicians, they'll play with you, but they want to get paid up front. It's not like the old days when you start a band.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen to this. Or recording. You could have a guy that just did the frickin' Florida Georgia Line album. He wants money up front. And if you give him a check, he waits till it clears. No. You got to remember, James, I was just talking to my friend. This is a business.
Yeah, it sure is.
And it's like if you look at the NFL or Major League or basketball or hockey, every one of these guys has their own deal. It's what you can do and what you bring and your worth. And if you just did the Kid Rock record and it's blowing up on the charts, that, hey, this guy, the guitar player on this thing did Kid Rock. And that just makes your status higher and your worth and your value.
Like Jimmy Bone.
Oh, I love Jimmy Bone.
Yeah.
I've known Jimmy forever and ever. He plays, he's like our fifth member.
I did see him on stage with you at a show at the Toka Lounge on YouTube.
He plays with us a lot, James.
Some Leon Russell.
Me and him did a song for you. I've been so many places in my lifetime.
That's so
He's playing
cool.
piano with me.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, interesting enough, though, you're bringing up Jimmy Bones. You know, he's been around a long, long time.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And he knows this scene very well. And he's doing very well with Kid Rock, as well as he deserves that.
Sure.
But the reason I'm bringing up Jimmy Bones is because if you look at, like, some of the shows that we've done with him, he's a very humble and cool guy.
Yeah.
He's all about Detroit. He's the most talented people I know. But what I was gonna say was he was supposed to be on this record with us.
Oh, really?
When we were gonna redo Tears, Jimmy was gonna play a piano on it, but it didn't happen. And we already had done Just Want to Talk to You, and again the time restraint. But you know what? If you haven't heard, I Just Want to Talk to You came out amazing. I don't think I don't know. Are they playing it on the wheels? I don't know if they are yet. You would think they're playing at least rhythm core.
The thing about Wheels now, and this is nothing on Doug, because I know he doesn't have any control over this, is it's such, there again, it's a business. I don't hear much, if any, local stuff on there unless it's late at night. It's just not part of their program.
Well, I think Riff for Wheels is doing something at 9 o'clock where everybody's sleeping. I don't know about you, but at 9 o'clock, listening to the radio.
No.
unless I'm working a day, you know, work and the radio's on, or I'm in my car, and then I listen to, you know, my phone.
Right. Me too. Spotify or whatever, you know, so I can.
Oh God, yeah. I listen to my playlist. I don't care what you got.
Yeah.
But people, don't listen to me. Listen to the radio this week. No, just kidding. Listen to James's podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get it out there, man. I'm gonna get to work on this. I gotta.
Listen, it was great talking to you. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
But I do want to remind people, the lineup tomorrow is ridiculous. Derek St. Holmes, Cadillac Kidz, The Look, Tino G's Dumpster. Are you kidding? Machine. Are you kidding me?
It's a great line. That's a great lineup, man.
And Derek St. Did I get everybody?
Yeah, Derek St. Holmes. Yeah.
Am I missing somebody?
I don't think so. Not that I
For
can
tomorrow,
remember.
for the show?
No.
Let me look real quick. I don't want to miss anybody. And I know I have it right here.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed Bittersweet Alley wasn't coming out, or you know that Gary wasn't going to come out and make.
Well, that's gonna be hard for them.
Yeah,
though.
of course. Yeah.
Because, they're all over the place when it comes to location. Getting those guys all down here would have been insane. Not for nothing though, the fans would have went nuts.
Yeah.
There's 2 other shows though.
I know St. Andrews the next night, and
St. Andrews is Rhythm Core.
Yeah, and the 21st of the
And
Hartford's with Halloween.
It's Halloween. Yeah.
Their 40th anniversary. I'm going to be doing an interview with Brian for that one too. I just wanted to get.
When you talk to Brian, make sure you say, "Hey, Spazz." I love Brian. I've known Brian. I've known Halloween for years and years, and George.
Yeah.
I love George. Forgot somebody special, man. So it's Derek St. Holmes, the Cadillac Kidz, The Look, the Reefermen.
Oh, Reefermen, yeah.
Bobby East, one of the best guitar players in Detroit.
Yeah.
Bobby, I apologize. I'm so glad I looked at this. Ridiculous. I can see it now. It's like, yeah, okay, Spazz, you didn't even say anything about me. Bobby, I love you, man. He's an amazing guitar player. Reefermen are a great band. They're a great band anyway.
Yes,
and they get all the kudos. And Tino G's Dumpster Machine, Reefermen, The Look, Cadillac Kidz, Derek St. Holmes.
Great lineup.
Uncle Ted may show up. You never know.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. But even if he doesn't, it's a phenomenal lineup.
Listen,
It'll be a big night.
How cool would that be to say we did a podcast, Ted, and we said that we thought we were talking about you coming, and then you just showed up. So then that means you must be listening to James's podcast. Can we get you to do a phone tag saying I'm Ted Nugent, Motor City Madman, and you need to listen to Motor City Rocks podcast?
Yeah, I would love that and stuff. I'm going to be doing an interview with Jason. He's
that's a good one. Jason will do that.
Yeah, I know he will. I've already talked to him. I knew he was finishing up the tour with Ted, so I wanted to let him finish that.
Yeah, that's all good. James, thank you so much hey, make sure you come over and hang out with me so we can get a picture.
All right, man. I appreciate that, man. And thanks a lot
I think it was a good podcast. I can't wait to hear it.
All right, brother. You will. I got to get to work.
See you, buddy.
All right, take care, man.
Yeah, get me a copy and I'll put it on our website.
All right, will do. I'll send you the link.
Thanks, James.
All right, brother. See ya.
Okay, bye.
Okay, that was Spazz from the Cadillac Kidz. And this is Jimmy Jive, and as I always say, keep rocking.